Hello. Again, let's see. I'm live again. I really enjoyed going live yesterday. It was just nice to sort of vocalize some of my inner thoughts. So yeah, I think I'll sort of kind of make this habitual. I don't know about every day, but you know, see how it goes. Right now, I am scraping off my glass palette. This is a color palette from a few days ago. Um, I like using the glass palette, it's the best. It's just the easiest in terms of like when you need to clean stuff off. Also, um, this garbage. I really want to start on the cleanest surface as possible. After yesterday, I ended up getting a migraine. Um, so I did not make it to Jerry's or do all the errands that I wanted to. I just had to sleep and rest, and so ended up sleeping through movies, and yeah, that's okay. So this morning, woke up feeling a lot better. Did a little morning workout. Um, and yeah, took care of myself. I think the reason why I'm getting these migraines is because it's always when I drink coffee, and it's not. I've been good about it, not drinking coffee, but this past week was a little difficult in transitioning onto a new antidepressant, and yeah, things are just I wake up feeling a little more like I needed a little more oomph. So I immediately went to coffee. Um, Today I decided not to, and I decided to do exercise instead, and that worked a lot better for me. Um, yeah, all these topics I was thinking of. Maybe this is just a quiet video. Oh yeah, I went to Jerry's today, and I bought some paints, some light gray, a lovely mauve, a limited edition cactus green. It doesn't look very cactusy to me, but I liked how muted it was. Then doing a lot of stuff with this, the steel blue. So I got some of that. And then a burnt umber. Um, I'm really enjoying the Lucas brand right now. I think maybe it has to do with like how affordable it is. And I don't feel so precious about it. I mean, I don't really feel precious about most of my art materials. But um, you know, these are trying times financially. And I think it's okay to go to like a cheaper art material. And what I find is if you decide to use a cheaper art material, if you use a nice art medium with it, it sort of like transforms it into a nice material. Also, if you have like a really nice surface that you're working on, um, that also helps. But I feel like, especially with acrylic paint, um, some of it can get a little snake oily or smoke and mirrors, I guess. Um, a little bit harder. Do a little more. That. And I'm just gonna mix it up. I feel like I should separate my colors more on my palette, but because I need to like do this pre-mixing situation, but I'm so used to oils. You know? Oops. Really. It's not too bad. So I think for today, when I came to this painting with fresh eyes today, I think the first thing I was thinking of was like, feeling like this part needs to be more open, or it just needs to be a totally different image. um, gonna work with this image though. I'm feeling confident I can make it work. Okay. So I'm thinking I'm gonna remove the bushes for now. Maybe I might even remove another tree. Right. Yeah. Yeah, that's it. I'm not really thinking about much today. Or I was, but now that I'm here, it's like all the things I wanted, I felt I was going to talk about sort of just went away. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I think when I go into like multiple days of painting, I sort of hit this um, really quiet, peaceful headspace. Yeah, recently started a new SRI, or started taking SRIs. I was on Wellbutrin before, um, but it was giving me a lot of anxiety. So I think what I'm realizing is I have anxiety that turns into something else, but the baseline is sort of anxiety. So I started taking SRIs, and it's like one of the side effects can be sort of like affecting your like libido. Um, I was surprised at how like immediate I could like feel that effect. Actually feels sort of like a relief. Like a relatively, I feel like I can step outside of myself and sort of identify with the fact that I am a relatively promiscuous person. Not in a bad way, I just, I enjoy physical intimacy with lots of people. Um, Sometimes it feels like, oops, I'll move this out. Sometimes it feels like, I'm like, do I want to do this or do I have to do this? Um, I think it kind of ties in with the fact that I have an addictive personality, and I've been in recovery now for a while. Not a while, I guess like a year. I had like a relapse with my sobriety, but um, I feel like when you can look at when you enter recovery, you just sort of see how much like addiction affects your whole life. And sex is addictive. That's like not a false statement. It can be an addictive thing. So it feels kind of nice to just like have like the medication sort of like inducing me not being a horny demon. I'm really happy with removing the tree and the bushes. That feels like a really good evocative move. It really opens up this like empty space that I am really like compelled by. think these paintings might just be the kind that happen in 2 sittings or 3 sittings. I have other projects I want to work on too, but these are fast. I don't think I need to like worry too much about them taking up a lot of time. I think after this, I'll like move this whole setup upstairs to like where I draw. I'll work on this like calendar piece that I'm sort of like ready to start. I'm trying to finish 3 pieces a month right now, which for me is actually like slowing down exponentially. Or maybe it's like forcing me to sort of like see things to their end. And when I just say 3 pieces, it's like, maybe it's like 3 pieces 1 month, then one really intensive piece a month with like a bunch of little things. feel like this is a typical moment for me. It's just like painting in total silence. I don't even really listen to music anymore when I work. Just feels like too much for me. Like enough going on in my fucking brain to this is too small. Um, do. Let's see. What is this one? Alright. Yeah, this will be easier. Today I am taking a break from the internet. I mean, I guess besides this, but sometimes I just need a moment. Nice. We're like getting pretty close. I think it may seem like I'm not doing it. I might just go over the same thing, but what I'm doing right now is lightening up the tree, like the branches and trunk, um, just a little bit, nothing too crazy. I'm really happy with how this is turning out. Yesterday, I rewatched a movie called Talk to Me. And it's a horror movie, pretty brutal actually. Um, very cruel to the characters, or unforgiving to the characters. Um, it's about sort of like contacting the other side, being possessed by the other side, possession, and grief. Really makes me, I don't know, grief is crazy. Just like what happens, or maybe it's not even so much about grief as it is about like desire, and like the desire sort of existing within grief, and you know, desiring our loved ones to come back, or desiring to have contact or a sign from the loved one. Like what, to what extent will that desire within grief carry us? To what extent will it drive us to or away thing, to or away from things? I think like growing up, I went to a lot of funerals, and I'm from the South, so a lot of them were open casket. I actually don't know if that's a Southern thing or not, but a lot of them are open casket. But yeah, I just remember going to so many. My mom taking me to a lot of funerals when I was younger, um, like all the time, and I sort of became, I guess, comfortable with, or like used to this aspect that people die. I was raised religious. So growing up, I did believe in God. Um, was raised Catholic. So growing up, yeah, I did believe in God growing up. So I guess there was always sort of like the safety net, or, you know. Um, let's see. All these reference images sort of help guide me. Hold on one second. I'm going to go grab some more reference images. I'm referencing, this is the comic I'm referencing, the Snuffy Smith comic. Just printed a bunch of little images that I found off the internet. There's also a TV show. I went and they're all available on YouTube. But I went and screen capped some of the images. So these are like the things I'm referencing. Not direct, like trying to make my own like changes to it, but yeah, that's like sort of the vibe. Gorgeous all brush, and I think I want to like add some of like brushes like this into it. So it's funny, I'm like working kind of inventively, but it's like I'm observing a cartoon. So I don't know. Is this working inventively or is this observational drawing? Probably somewhere in between. I think maybe when we're working, whether it be observationally or inventively, they're always sort of like in play with one another. I don't think one can exist without the other. Because some people like to distinguish like it, even with like abstraction. Or like working more formally, I guess, when you're just focusing on like color, shape, um, that stuff. um, yeah, that's a really nice detail, actually. Vibing. It's interesting. The TV show actually has what appears to be more detail incorporated into it, into the backgrounds and stuff. I find that kind of interesting. The reason why I find it interesting is because like you would think that there would be less detail in like the animation and more detail in the cartoon, just because I feel like animation is more rigorous. Maybe there's just like a different requirement for it. I have no idea. I guess there's a different process because like creating cells and backgrounds and I guess the fastest way to create those cells would be to paint everything. And it's just like in the nature of painting to not be so graphic, be less graphic. It creates like a more dynamic composition. Also, when like the characters are all outlined, they need to be able to stand out. So it makes sense now to me why there's no like hard outline in the background, so the characters can stand out. Things are drying on me kind of quickly today. I have the fan on because I got kind of warm before I started. I had to do some errands today and I had to replace a filter, an air filter. My air filters, I needed to get like, it's actually kind of funny. It's one of those things where I recently decided I was like, I'm gonna start buying just like the better quality version of things, which is like crazy that we even have. That's like an option. Like it's kind of fucked up. Like if you can only get the best quality living if you can afford it. And if you can't, then go fuck yourself. It's just like fucked up. But anyways, I've been trying to sort of like reevaluate what I want to spend my money on, and I've decided that I really want to like start focusing more on quantity over quality, or no, quality over quantity. um, and just making sure I'm getting like better quality version of something. Like with my air filters, it's like I have like allergies and stuff. And the first time I used a nice air filter, I was like, oh my gosh, wow, it's like I'm not like being affected by pollen as much. It's really nice. Um, so I was just like, okay, like when I was like deciding when I was needing to change the air filters again, I was just like, okay, like I'm gonna get the nice air filters this time because I've been getting a lot of migraines, mostly induced by coffee, but I don't think like, poor air quality helps with that. Um, just really into like good quality airflow today. Because that's the thing. It's like I want to spend my money on quality stuff that like literally benefits me. I actually canceled a lot of my subscriptions recently in hopes that I would force me just to seek out other things, like other hobbies. Um, and it has been helping. I use this app or the service called Canopy, which is through the library, and that's how I've been watching some movies. I love watching DVDs for some reason. Not for some reason. I think DVDs are great. Um, I love going to like thrift stores and just like finding these like DVDs that movies I've never heard of before. Um, when me and my mom were in the beach a while ago, we went to a funky antique store and um, like bought a bunch of funny DVDs and watched them that night. I was drinking heavily at that time still, so I was pretty drunk the entire time. But it was, I can recognize that I had good times, even though I was doing something I shouldn't have been doing. Fortunate that anything I regret wasn't like so detrimental. It's mostly just like stupid shit I said. Big dog. Not I don't know, being insensitive. But, I was really young when most of that was happening and just had a lot to learn, I guess. I don't think I'm inherently or was inherently a bad person. I think I was just trying to understand the world as an adult and being a part of this like age group that just like gets the brunt end of the stick from every direction. um, yeah, I guess dealing with a lot of anger. I just traded a small brush for a small brush. Um, this is really satisfying. I'm really enjoying this painting. Oh, okay. So yeah, I've added a few leaves and shrubs. removed the tree, removed a branch, lightened this up, lightened this area up, and lighten and go through the tree again. I think I need to add just like a little root or something. I think after this one, I think the composition I'm gonna work on. Well, I have two compositions I want to work on next. I want to work on um let me finish this tree that use roots. Doing this right? No, I'm not. um, uh, can't tell what's happening. Chew. It's just the same color. It's close enough. Yeah, this one's a little more textury, but I think that's fine. I'm not gonna get. Doesn't look bad. Thinking about time right now, how time moves around, thinking about how time moves in these spaces. To me, it might. Definitely feels suspended. Something coming from a time period. The way it's like displacing time. Just focus on the scalloped parts. I kind of carried away. Still very cloudy here. I think we're just sort of at that time of year where things are just cloudy and stays cloudy. It's like the opposite of the Northwest. Actually, I turned the AC down a little bit, because then I turned the temperature, I put the temperature to a lower number. So it's really humid. I don't want I don't know. I don't want to feel that. I'm happy with my food choices lately. I really have simplified what I eat. Just things I just like taking sort of the pressure off myself that every meal has to be extravagant. Um, like just eating like granola bars in the morning for breakfast, banana, and then for lunch just having like a quick pita sandwich thing with an apple, and then for dinner eating like eggs with something, with like rice or something, and it just feels so manageable, like much more manageable than what I've been up to, or what I think was what I was trying to do. I think I put so much energy creatively into other things that when it comes to food choices, I just like I can't make any more creative decisions. So I just decided I was just like I think I need to just simplify like what I consume and not feel pressured to like make these like extravagant just choices. Well, not extravagant to me, or like everything has to be like so like big and tasty, and like, things can be boring and Good. Okay. Right. Oh wow, we're already like at an hour. So this is sort of where we're at. I'm really happy with how this turned out. Um yeah, this feels really, really good. I think it's like right on the money of right on heart with what I'm sort of going for in terms of these like quiet spaces that are like mystical and fantastical and illuminated. I might tomorrow add in some like halo-y light effects, but I think for now I'm gonna put it down. And I think for the rest of the day, I'm going to want to gesso some more canvases. Um, and then I want to work on that uh, drawing or this calendar piece that I've like been thinking about. Okay, well, I don't know. I guess I'll end it here, and maybe tomorrow we can like work on. I can like record myself working on something else. Right. Goodbye.